Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So now we are going to discuss in this session about one of the very important things. You all know about it, yet we don't practice it. So let us revise our concept of values. And now a usual disclaimer, though I am as independent director in few companies, and I'm also going to give you examples from say the Tata Group or the Birla Group or some groups, but I don't represent any company. The views represent whatever I'm saying is totally my own personal views, okay? Now what are values? Let's revise it. So human values are the fundamental principles and moral compass that guide our thoughts and interactions. So animals are also, we are basically an animal also, human beings are also animals. But the difference is a dog, whenever it's feeling hungry, it will eat. When it wants to sleep, it will go for sleeping. So his activities are not have any control. It is basically purely by instinct it is doing. But human values are going to tell us that for dog or a cat, there is nothing called good and bad. It will, whatever is instinct, it will do. A lion, whatever is instinct, it will do. But for us, we have a moral compass, and that will guide our thoughts and interactions. So basically, there are core values that make our personality and how we act in life. There is a difference between two scientists, two government officers, two teachers. It is not only always in terms of knowledge, but sometimes in terms of the core values that we have. We say this person is a very honest officer. This person we are not sure, but this person, like, not giving an example, but because it's all universally agreed, we spoke of Lal Bahadur Shastri Ji. When we talk of Lal Bahadur Shastri Ji, simple person, honest person, that comes to our mind, to everyone's mind. So that is the core value and the personality that makes it. Very important, because values is what they make up who you are. And values are something which will guide us throughout our life. They shape our actions and influence our understanding of right and wrong. Now just two hypothetical names, Ajay and Vijay, both work in the same organization, ABC Limited. Now Ajay feels that, I am not able to meet the target, but I shall not bribe to meet my target. Whereas Vijay feels that it's okay, everyone is doing it, I can do something wrong to meet the target. So it is basically intrinsic. The difference is intrinsic between Ajay and Vijay basically, right? Very important element of values are, it leads to understanding the human behavior, the motivation and attitudes. Now for example, you are a businessman, you have to get a work done through a particular government officer, and it has been well known that this guy is very, very honest as a government officer. So basically, if you know that, then you will not even try to bribe him, because if you try to bribe him, it will boomerang on you. So it is important, and it also shape your attitude towards life, because if you believe कि मेहनत करने से अच्छा काम करने से अच्छा फल होगा, if that is your value system, that you will do that no, hard work, sincerity, that will lead to good result. But if your feel is नहीं, मेरे अंकल लोग I have seen ऐसे ही करते थे, सब ऐसे ही करते हैं, so you will also be like that. So it is very intrinsic to you, and it will play a very significant role in shaping our societies and cultures. For example, we all agree on one thing. It's a small country called Singapore, very small. But the general notion is that people there are very hardworking and they are honest. The average policeman does not accept bribes. There is no point of bribing, and the law is so. That is how the Singapore society has been able to shape it up, right? There are some common human values which include honesty, integrity, respect, compassion, empathy, justice, freedom, peace. So while some values are considered universal, others can vary across cultures and societies. So human values is not only how we are working, it is also how we treat others, make decisions, and strive to create a better world. So it is human values not only about honesty. For example, I'll give you an example, very mundane example to tell you. Suppose you have a driver whom you have pay. Now you know कि you have to go out at 9 o'clock in the morning. You are knowing it. So you can always tell कि driver को कि आप 9 बजे आ जाएगा, हम 9 बजे निकलेंगे. You come at 8:45, we'll start at 9. But there could be another person, he may say कि भैया आप 6 बजे आ जाइए, आप उसको बिठा के रहेगा 3 घंटा. So this is basically it's a kind of a value that we are not treating the other person with the same amount of respect that he deserves. So this is very, very important that we have a empathy, and the good news for us is that not only we are born with some values, but they can be instilled through family, education, culture, religion, and personal experience. For example, if you go to a school, or let's say I am a teacher and you like me a lot and you meet me and I say कि देखो अच्छा काम करने से अच्छा फल होगा. If you do good work, you will have good fruits. And because you respect me as a mentor and I keep on telling you again and again this thing, this will go inside your mind. This will be a good value I can inculcate in you. So therefore what I am saying is that by getting into a good mentor, a good teacher, a good parents, they can have good values into it. Suppose I tell you कि नहीं बेटा बुरा काम मत करो, कल परसों कुछ नहीं होगा, long term में तुम्हें नुकसान होगा. That means if you do bad work, nothing will happen tomorrow, nothing will happen day after tomorrow, there will be no lightning thunder. But long term, the fruits of this will not be good. So this is what, and if it goes inside your system, then you will ultimately become a good citizen, a good human being. And why I'm feeling so happy that I am with you, dear students and friends, that this is an opportunity for me to speak to you, try to influence you in a very positive way on inculcating some good human values into you. The whole idea of this session and for similar sessions are to develop empathy for you, to be kind to people, to be respectful to people, and to be responsible citizens. Now, many of you may be students, many of you may already be working some organizations. But those like me who have gray hairs and those who have worked for 10-15 years, most of us have a lot of bad bosses because they have not treated us well. Someone who's worked for 30 years, I can give it to in writing that बड़े बदमाश बॉस होते हैं हम लोग के. So ये क्यों हो रहे हैं? Because they are not being kind to us. So he is the boss, you are the subordinate, but he also has to give a respect to you. There has to be a relationship of mutual respect. You should respect him because maybe your boss is senior to in age, he's got a higher designation, he's got a higher purview, but he must also have empathy for you. Suppose आपके घर में कोई बीमार है, someone has fallen sick in your home, and you go and tell the boss that sir आज थोड़ा जल्दी जाना है, today I want to leave a bit early. How is the boss going to respond? It will be depending on his value system, on his empathy. Because if the boss says तुम तो सब समय से फालतू काम है, if he makes this kind of wordings to you that you're always coming with excuses, work is there, then what will happen is even if you go home, you will carry a bad feeling in your head, you will not feel happy. But suppose he says that no, your son is not well, please go, there are other people, they will take care, don't worry, you go. So then what happens is you go home with a very clean thing, you're thinking about your son or daughter who is not well. But next day when you come back to office, you feel like coming back with more josh कि नहीं, कल मैं हॉस्पिटल गया था, काम मेरा छूट गया है, I have left some work, today I am going to go back with bigger work. So is it not good leadership? आपको काम करना है ना, काम निकालना है. Will the work not be done better? So therefore if you see his values, we all want to become good leaders. हम लोग सब चाहते हैं बॉस बनेंगे, बहुत लोग हमारे साथ काम करेंगे, लेकिन कोई अगर आपको इज्जत ही नहीं करे, if people don't respect you, आपको लोग डरें खाली, तो are you a good leader? Will the work actually be improving on that organization? My feeling is it will not. So we have to, so these are the small things on the Indian ethos which are there, which actually not only helps you to become a better human being, but more successful. What do you want to do, my friends? Sir, I want to become more successful, बहुत पैसा कमाना, I want to earn a lot of money. So for that you have to rise to higher position. How do you become higher position? When people around you are with you. What is a leader? Because a lot of followers. When will he follow you? When he looks up to you. Nahi, he really feel like working for him. Do you know that some drivers, when they are called, so some people they are very happy, हाँ आज उनका ड्यूटी करना है, बहुत हैप्पी जाते हैं, और कभी कभी लगता है अरे उनका ड्यूटी करना है, क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है? Because of the way he is treating the people around him. So now we have got relationship to ethics is very closely related. The human values are very closely related to ethics, which are the principles that govern our behavior and interactions with others. I am giving you very simple examples because I want you to, this is not a scholastic class where I'll quote from various research papers and there is no learning from you. I want कि कल से this interactions makes you a better citizen, better leader, a more successful person. Now let us examine some of the core values of Indian culture. Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, you might have heard. Satyam means truth, Vada means बोलना, सबसे हम लोग को सत्य बोलना है. धर्मम चरा, धर्म मतलब राइचियसनेस, चरा मीन्स उस पाथ में चलना है. और एक चीज मैंने नहीं लिखा है स्लाइड में, सत्यम वद अप्रियम सत्यमा वद, मीन्स जो अप्रिय सत्य है उसको नहीं बोलना है. लेट्स से यू मीट अ पर्सन एंड जस्ट गिव एन एग्जांपल, हिज नोज अ बिट टिल्टेड, देयर इज नो नीड फॉर टेल यू कि अरे आपका नाक तो थोड़ा टेढ़ा है, योर नोज अ बिट टिल्टेड, नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. सो वो सत्य है बट वो बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. एक इजी एग्जांपल दे रहे हैं, बट सत्य बोलना है आपको. और धर्मम चरा, नाउ हम लोग बोलते हैं, पिताजी ने हम लोग को सिखाया, पिताजी के पिताजी ने सिखाया, लेकिन तब भी मैं तो टीचर हूं तो आई इंटरेक्ट विद स्टूडेंट्स, आई एम अ डायरेक्टर, आई इंटरेक्ट विद लॉट ऑफ एम्प्लॉइज. आई आस्क वन स्टूडेंट, आई वेंट टू अ क्लास, आस्क्ड स्टूडेंट, अच्छा भैया लास्ट 1 month कितना झूठ बोला, हाउ मेनी लाइज डिड यू टेल? सर अनगिनत. क्यों बोला? व्हाई डिड यू से? he just does not know, he thinks it's the easier path. So what will happen is this person has to, let's say, has not done his homework. I'm talking of school days, our school days, college days. Sir, I did the homework, I left it at my notebook at the home. And that will carry in the office also. He has to leave early. So easiest example is, sir, मेरी माँ बहुत बीमार है, my mother is very sick. और हम लोग मिडिल ईस्ट में भी आई हैड वर्कड, सो वन ऑफ द इजीएस्ट थिंग दे यूज्ड टू से इज दैट माय ग्रैंडमदर हैज डाइड. सो वंस द बॉस सेड तुम्हारे कितने ग्रैंडमदर हैं, हाउ मेनी ग्रैंडमदर्स यू हैव. हम लोग क्यों झूठ बोलते हैं? बिकॉज वो लगता है कि बहुत ईजी तरीका है, आसान तरीका है. लेकिन माई बंधु, माई फ्रेंड्स, रिमेंबर वन थिंग, ये जो है ना, मैं आपको लास्ट सेशन में बोल रहा था कि शोले आया हम लोग भूल जाएंगे, DDLJ आया भूल जाएंगे, लेकिन सत्यम वद 1000 पहले था और आज से जब तक रहेगा ह्यूमन सिविलाइजेशन तब तक चलेगा. क्योंकि पता है बॉस, ये अगर आप सत्य नहीं बोलोगे, अगर बॉस बोलेगा कि इस बार मेहनत करो, अप्रेजल आ रहा है ना नेक्स्ट टाइम, मैं अप्रेजल इज कमिंग, तुम्हारा बढ़ा देंगे, फिर उसने नहीं बढ़ाया तो उसने अभी क्या हुआ, झूठ बोल के उसने काम निकाल लिया. लेकिन हर एक झूठ का एक अंजाम होता है. फॉर एवरी एक्शन देयर इज अ कंसिक्वेंस. नेक्स्ट टाइम विल यू ट्रस्ट योर बॉस? यू विल नॉट. आपका बेटा, मैं एग्जाम्पल दे रहा हूँ, एकदम प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल. योर सन और योर डॉटर कम्स एंड सेज पिताजी मुझे 1000 रुपये चाहिए. क्यों चाहिए? नहीं, स्कूल में जमा करना है. झूठ ऐसा एक चीज है वो पकड़ा जाएगा. lie such a thing, it will be caught tomorrow, after 6 months, after 9 months, then you know कि आपके बेटे ने, आपकी बेटी ने आपसे झूठ बोला. Your son or daughter has lied to you. Next time you will not trust. So therefore, what is the problem with not satyam vada is to make you a good leader. ये आपके लिए अच्छा है, it is good for you. Because when you don't, because what is the thing? We want to be successful. We want to make more money. To make more money, you have to go up. Go up means you have to have more followers. More followers means they must trust you. And when you don't speak the truth, will they follow you? Will they trust you? They will not. So the trust will be broken basically. So therefore, our Indian culture has been focusing more and more on honesty and integrity, because the long term is always good for you. We have discussed about it, but worth discussing, I wanted to inside you, dharma, righteousness. Dharma means righteousness and ethics, values in all actions, ensuring integrity in corporate governance. Today, this word corporate governance is a very big term in the corporate world, but it's already there in the Indian ethos. And because they are not following the corporate governance principles, we have seen how many companies have fallen down. I don't want to take any names. You already know many names. There was this large software company. It got a lot of awards and then finally it collapsed. Now, I have nothing to do with the Tata Group, but I think because it's generally well accepted, that's why I've written it here, that generally or relatively at least, we'll say that Tata Group is following some good principles they're following. Ahimsa, non-violence, we spoke of some religions which originated from India, be it Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism. They all spoke of non-violence. They all spoke of peace, Shanti. That is, Om Shanti is the very important thing. It is very important that we have these values in our system. But Shanti not from weakness, but from strength. आपको strong होना पड़ेगा. ऐसा नहीं कि आपके बाहर से लोग आके आपको अटैक कर लें. आपको strong रहिएगा. And still you are saying कि I'm strong, but I want peace. I don't want people to get affected. और एक जो बहुत ही very good thing is सेवा or this selfless service, serving society and humanity. मतलब हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, ये आदमी बहुत selfish है. What is selfish? He is thinking all the time about himself. So the dog, cat, lion, they all think of himself all the time. खाना खाना है तो immediately I have to have the food. Sleep, I have to immediately have the sleep. Here what is happening is that I am thinking of myself, my family, but above that is society. So I have to think of society, I have to think of humanity, because I am here, my grandfather was there, he is no more, my father was there, one day he will also not be there, and I am here, you are here, but one day, friends, I will also not be there, you will also not be there. But what will be there is the humanity must go on in a very, very nice way. Now, the equivalent word, closest word to values is ethics, is derived from the ancient Greek word ethikos, meaning relating to one's character. We say he has a good character, he doesn't have a good character. So, ethics means what are the expected standards in terms of your personal and social welfare. So, for example, I am employing a person, I say I will going to give you 50,000 rupees salary. Your working hours from 9:30 to 5:30, 5 days a week, I am saying. So, I am expecting that he will take a lunch break, but he will be working diligently, sincerely during the balance working hours. So, it is up to me now whether he is working or not. He's going out and say I go for a smoke and spends 1 hour there. That is not expected. So, therefore, ethics is very important, because ultimately when everyone becomes ethical, then the standard. So, we are discussing about Singapore. We are told, and that's what research showing, that in Singapore, for example, every person puts in that kind of work which is expected of him. Whereas in India, we might put in long hours, but it is generally believed that they are not productive hours. We spend a lot of time in the office also doing a lot of personal work and gossiping. This is, I am saying generally, it may not be true in every organization, and it's a general comment I am making. So, if you don't agree, no problem, but I am saying that at least you from tomorrow as you go, try to do a good day's work. Ethics is ultimately a branch of philosophy that deals with identifying, defending and recommending concepts of right and wrong behavior. So, not only it also recommends what is right and what is wrong. Now, we will discuss some important values, I think very much ingrained in the Indian ethos and culture, but forgotten. Let us look at first one. Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadapi Garyasi. What does it mean? Janani means Ma, mother. Janmabhumi means motherland, Bharat. What about them? Janani Janmabhumischa Swargadapi. Swarg means heaven. Garyasi, स्वर्ग से भी ऊपर है. क्या बोल रहे हैं हम लोग कि mother and motherland are higher than even heaven. What do people say in the West? I want to go to heaven. What does the Indian ethos says? Heaven is all right, but there are two people who are above heaven. One is your mother and one is your motherland. But what are you doing in practice, my friends, my students? We are always dreaming of migrating to a foreign country. We feel so great, our parents feel so great to tell that my daughter is in Germany, my son is in Canada, my son is in USA, my daughter has gone to Australia. So we have, and because the culture is like that, we are not being told in school, in college by your uncle and parents that desh ka seva karna hai. We have to actually worship, we have to do selfless service to the country. So this word brain drain has come because the best of the students, because they have an opportunity, so they are immediately going to West, and we feel very proud that they are in the West. We feel very proud to tell that my son is today settled down in the West. But that is not, my friends, the Indian ethos. The Indian ethos is that let us contribute in our own way to our own motherland. Is it a good thing? Because one day, friends, today you're young, your mother was young one day, your mother will become 85, 90 one day, your father will become 90 one day. So is it okay to just send some dollars or pounds or euros from abroad? And they are just. So I'm leaving this thought with you. This is the value system that you have to decide. I cannot decide for you, but I have decided for myself that I have stayed back in my country even after IIT IIM qualification, because I wanted to very clearly serve my country and my parents. There is one more thing which I have not written here. This is about mother and motherland. It says Pita Dharma, Pita Swarga, Pita hi Paramam Tapa. धर्म बोल रहे थे, पिता ही धर्म है, पिता ही स्वर्ग है, पिता ही परम तपस्या का फल है. और पितरी प्रतिमा पन्ने प्रियंते सर्व देवता. मतलब वी से ना कि गॉड्स आर हैप्पी. आपके पिताजी आपके ऊपर खुश हैं. इज योर फादर हैप्पी? इफ योर फादर इज हैप्पी विथ यू, ऑल द गॉड्स विल बी हैप्पी विथ यू. पहले आपके पिताजी का सेवा कर लीजिए. कोई ओल्ड एज होम जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप अपने डैडी मम्मी को देखते हैं ठीक से, जब बीमार पड़ते हैं, डू यू जेन्युइनली फील जितना आपके बच्चे से प्यार करते हैं उसका 80% क्या आपके पेरेंट्स को प्यार करते हैं? शायद नहीं. दैट इज व्हाट माय जनरल सर्वे इज. तो ये हमको सोचने के बारे में है. इट हैज टू थिंक. आचार्य देवो भव. हम लोग को सुनने आता है कि कहीं कहीं तो स्टूडेंट्स लोग टीचर्स को मतलब घेराव कर लिए, पीसी को घेराव कर लिए, वायलेंस हो गया कैंपस में. But Indian ethos is about Acharya Devo Bhava. Acharya is like Devata. तो जो टीचर है, he also has to behave in such a way that people look up to him like a Devata. And the students must also look up to the Acharya as a Devata. Atithi Devo Bhava. कितना पवित्र, how lofty that is. कि मेरे घर में कोई आया है. We are a guest. He is my Atithi, he is my guest. So he is like a devata. So I have to treat him very well, because when he goes out, we believe that he will give us Ashirwad. He will go out good feelings, so that will be good for my family. This concept, Raj Arshi, Raja plus Rishi equal to Rajarshi. What is the meaning of a Rishi? Rishi means जो फकीर type का. He is like a hermit. बस दो कपड़ा है. No belongings, nothing. That is a rishi. Who is a king? He's got a lot of kingdom, he's got pomp, grandeur, But हमारे इंडिया में कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है? जब राजा ऋषि जैसे बन जाए, when the king becomes like a hermit, that is the most superior leadership. So Raja does not only mean the king of a kingdom. It can also mean the CEO or the chairman of the MD of organization. Just imagine if the CEO or the managing director, the company is doing very well, and yet the CEO is leading a very simple life. He is always willing to do tyag and seva. That means tyag means sacrifice and seva means service to the nation, to the company, to the employees. Will you not look up to such a leader? We want to be looked up. No? We want everyone should look up to us. But are we looked up always if you have 10 flats in 10 cities of India? You take out money from the company and you have 10 flats, 10 bungalows. Or if people actually come to know, like I gave the example of one Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, the Prime Minister, the second Prime Minister of India. So simple that even when he died, his Prima Padmini car he had, even the EMIs was, that car also did not fully belong to him because he led a very simple life. So that's why we are talking about Lal Bahadur Shastri even today. So basically, I'm leaving this thought with you that don't you think that if the number one person is leading a simple life, a life that Mahatma Gandhi ji, our father of the nation, spoke about, then he is also going to command a lot more good followers. And then if you all follow simple life, today what is happening is, we know, I'm going to give some technical terms for you. Lorentz curve, look at the Gini coefficient, what is happening, as we all know. The top 1% of the population or the top 10% of the population, you look at Google, they may be having in many countries 40% of the country's income and wealth. And the bottom 50% have nothing. Is it a very good social thing we are doing? And as Gandhiji said, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. So can we reduce our greed? So now this again is all there. How lofty this is. Raja becoming like a rishi and Rajarshi. So God has given you, He has given you a kingdom, but you are living a life of tyag and seva. This is not a good thing. So this is all up to you, friends. I can only bring out these things, concepts to you. But I can tell you, if you follow this, you'll become happy and you'll become successful. Both the things which you want, you're going to get. When we talk of Janani Janmabhumischa, it will not be complete without the example of one of the greatest sons of India, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Many of you may know that he was from a pretty upper affluent aristocratic family, and before IAS, before the independence, it was called the Indian Civil Service. And unlike IAS, where we might have a lot of vacancies, 250 vacancies maybe in a year, ICS was having very few vacancies. But Netaji qualified and he was appointed as an ICS officer. He knew that he would have retired as maybe a governor of a state, district magistrate first, collector, and then, retire as a governor. Very comfortable life. But you know what Netaji did? He resigned from the ICS and said it is neither Indian nor civil nor service. So when he was asked that you are such a brilliant person, you would have such a comfortable life, why do you resign from the ICS? He said, if I am brilliant, why should I serve the British? I should serve my Janani, my Janma Bhumi. And we all know, we have read in history, that what a big difference his leadership of the Azad Hind Fauj, Indian National Army, made to India's freedom struggle. Without Netaji, we cannot even think. Had he remained as an ICS officer, he would have had a very comfortable life, under the British. But there would be perhaps a big difference in our freedom movement. So if he could sacrifice